Yeah. Welcome to the Texas Panhandle Builders Association TPBA Builder Talk podcast, where we'll bring you expert advice from the heart of Amarillo building community. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting in the trade, our goal is to keep you informed on the ever-evolving building codes, share best practices, and help you excel in your craft. From innovative design ideas to smart material selections and everything in between, we're here to support you in every aspect of home building. Each episode, we'll dive into the topics that matter most to builders, contractors, and industry professionals, ensuring that you stay ahead of the curve in this rapidly changing landscape. Our discussions are shaped by the experiences and knowledges of our hosts and guests, providing you with valuable perspectives that you can apply directly to your work. The views and the opinions expressed are those of the hosts and the guests and may not always reflect the most up-to-date or accurate information. Let's build something great together, one conversation at a time. And welcome back to the TPBA Builder Talk podcast. Joel, you awake over there?
Hi, I'm Joel from FTD Homes.
I'm Robert with RDS Inspection Service.
Ben with Southwest Sales.
And I'm Jordan with Caprock Design Build. If you made it through our intro, we've got an exciting topic today, one that we're all passionate about. And I think there's going to be some stuff to learn, some insights.
Yeah, that's why this white hair is here, is because we can't seem to get some things right.
I think the white hair is there because you've overlearned. You've learned too much.
I hope, but it hasn't happened yet.
So the topic for today, if you're listening on any of the mainstream channel podcasts, you can see that it's exterior wall cladding, and we want to talk about what we're doing here that's right, what we're doing here that's wrong, maybe some ways to change it up and go about it and make it better. But what is wall cladding? Why don't you guys?
It's the skin,
right?
It's what looks good. Technically, if you build your house, this is my thoughts. If you build your house correct and it's flashed, and plus what you do with your zip tape, the cladding doesn't need to be there.
Right.
It's just I guess it is a line of defense to a certain extent. But it's the skin. It's the beauty.
It's usually the primary UV block, right?
Right. So it's the first line of defense for sure.
For that, it is not the water control layer.
No.
And it's also not a structural layer.
No. Well, I mean, unless you did like a true masonry wall.
But we don't.
We don't. Well, not in residential.
We're just talking about
if you
wood.
Go back to single wall construction.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm saying in today's world, we do not build a double brick wall.
No.
We use brick as a brick veneer. We use siding. We use stone. That is still not structural. It's still a veneer. And
the metal,
some masonry, stucco, and a whole lot of ephes.
Yeah, we're doing more.
But it's not the water control layer. It's not the air control layer. It's not the structural.
Nope.
It is the UV protector of the stuff beneath it.
Right.
It's an architectural layer.
It is. It's for looks. Right?
It's for looks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cladding.
That's
cladding.
All right. Tune in next week.
All right.
That's all we know about cladding.
Which one do you want to dive into first?
Well,
we do brick.
Yeah, let's talk about brick, since there's a lot of brick, and you're passionate about certain aspects of brick that you do and don't like. So let's do brick.
So okay, let's start with brick. Brick, put it on as a veneer.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an air gap behind it. It's fastened on with brick ties to the structural wall.
And how much is that air gap supposed to be?
1 inch.
Thank you.
And there's a drain plane at the bottom.
There is. Mm-hmm. There's flashing. There's
a little gravel. There's a little this, little that. And there's weep holes. And
correct.
So it's not glued right to the building.
No. It's not.
It's just hanging out.
And it's not holding the wall up.
No.
Nope.
And a lot of times it's not holding itself up.
Right.
And you don't put enough ties in it.
or if there's not a brick ledge, a proper brick ledge, it'll pull the wall down.
Right. And they're sitting in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
a brick ledge, we can barely just touch on that.
Sure.
It just allows the brick to be out of the dirt and not go all the way down to the rickety little footing down there. And it gives it a nice, clean, it looks like a little bit of flat work. It's a nice, clean surface. And your dirt and your grass and everything aren't just piling on the brick. And
correct.
So that's a brick ledge. But that's
and then some
not
people
really a veneer thing. But
some people wonder why in some parts of the city they're having a flooding issue into their wall because their grass finally collects enough dirt that it overwhelms the weep hole. I've seen
and brick is
several of them.
porous.
And brick is still porous.
Oh yeah, and then they don't grade the dirt away from it. They just dump it into it.
Yep.
So a brick ledge is a great way to go, but that's kind of a side subject.
It is.
Anyways,
so our brick ledge, the Panhandle Foundation guideline brick ledge, is the footing.
It's the footing. That is
an
right.
offset footing, and on the guideline,
the low grade.
Well, on the guideline, it shows that grade starts at the top of the footing, but that's not how buildings work, right? You can't.
That's a mistake on the drawing.
It is a mistake on the drawing.
Yes.
Which results into backfilling against a brick wall. And there's usually the first.
And game over. It's game over.
Yeah. First two layers are backfilled against. First two brick rows.
Oh, but I got to have that flower bed right up against my footing in my brick wall. Holy
and let's put a watering
smokes.
system
Yeah,
in.
let's put a watering system in there. Here we go.
Anyways, back to the veneer.
Yep.
We can run that down to the next hour. But so you're saying that it's attached with the ties.
It's attached with the ties, and then it runs up the wall into a brick pocket, and
at the soffit.
At the soffit.
Okay,
that's the basics of a brick wall. We have a lot of issues with our brick walls, and here's the deal: it wasn't a big deal with the way we used to build. Right.
True.
When we had houses that were open and no air control layer, and we weren't using spray foam, and insulation was on the ceiling level, that wall was pretty dang forgivable, right? It could allow air to go through it. Vapor drive from the sun would come up. That brick pocket had a hole in it between the wall sheeting layer and the soffit, but we're venting it out through the roof system.
Vapor drive.
Oh,
that's
it's like one continuous soffit vent.
Yep. It basically is a soffit vent from the bottom of the wall all the way to the peak of the roof,
and all the way around the house.
And it worked, to an extent. It worked, but building has evolved, and now we're paying attention to things like the air control layer, the water control layer, the thermal vapor, all those, right? And so
supposed to be
all that building science stuff.
All that building science stuff,
and products have changed, and we've either learned those new products, or we just started putting them on in place and building the same way. And that's where the issues come up, right? So now we've got the zip wall sheathing on most of our builds around here, but we're doing the brick the exact same way. And then we've added spray foam to it.
We have a non-vented roof.
We have a non-vented
roof
system. And that's the kicker. It's a whole different game.
So it doesn't matter that we've got weep holes at the bottom, because we're not necessarily even talking about bulk water. We're talking about vapor.
Right.
And so
condensation
sprinklers come on in the morning and blast the brick wall, and the sun comes out and drives the moisture through. Vapor drive drives the moisture up the wall right into the bottom of the spray foam.
And the spray foam turns into a giant sponge.
It does, right up against the wood framing, which is going to cause mold and rot and health issues and durability issues and structural issues. And it's not been addressed. Nobody's talking about this.
So there's a complicated fix and there's an easy fix.
Sure.
So would the easy fix just to be continue your soffit tight to the wall sheeting, tape it and seal that section you're talking about up?
Correct.
That'd be the simple.
So you want to have your water, air, and vapor control layer going from the wall across the soffit and tie it back into at least your subfascia. Technically, your roof would also be your water and air control layer as well. That fixes that if you add another ventilation hole at the top of the wall
for convection,
because you don't want to just drive moisture vapor up.
Even though you've sealed it, now you got a dead end.
Now you've got a dead end. You want a place for that vapor and the air to go. That's the
fix.
That's the fix for it, if you want to continue to do a non-vented
right.
roof.
So brick ledge, seal your soffit to your or sub soffit in your case to the wall sheeting, and vent bottom and top. And so when you're going to vent, you're going to use the little bug screen things.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to end up just making a raceway for the world.
Sure.
So you don't happen to have one of those laying around here, do you?
I'll grab it. There's other options. There's little,
the plastic ones.
There's plastic ones that look kind of like a plastic Brillo pad.
Yeah.
Let me grab one.
Say goodbye to Jordan. He's not coming back.
Bye, Jordan.
Bye, Jordan. Make us a ham and cheese sandwich before you come back, would you? So what we're talking about is these weep holes, and basically it's a section of mortar missing in between the next brick. And that's how they make a little section, and that's just for air to kind of come in there and convection and come out. But if you don't cover them up, you're asking the bugs to come on in.
How often do you have to place those?
Every 33 inches or every third brick.
Gotcha.
So since we're a global podcast and we have thousands of viewers weekly on YouTube, if you're watching now, you can see what this looks like. And this is the particular model that I use. It's a stainless steel screen that comes flat. You can get these in different heights for different profiles of brick, whether it's modular, queen, king, whatever size brick you're using. But they're pretty simple. And your rake joints can be a different size. So if you've got a 3/8 or a 1/2 inch, or you're doing really tight and it's a 1/4 inch, you can bend these to size, and you bend them on
Show the camera.
screen.
Show the come on, do a full demo.
So here's what this looks like if you can see it now that it's been bent. And this gets inserted in between the brick. Now you've got a bug screen, right? So
Yeah, and that's really important. A lot of guys aren't even doing that.
No,
I don't know if that's
we're
even a code.
using
Is that
this.
a code that you have to put a screen in there? Or they just get the ventilation every 30 inches and call it good.
No, what they're using is a waterproof vapor barrier that goes 3 courses up.
which deteriorates after year one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then we take pea gravel
Yeah, I
and
see
we
that.
sprinkle in behind there. We're done.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's just a small hole that they make.
And
Yeah.
this disappears, in
they
between.
actually look really sharp.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a good. Well, maybe they get a little mortar on them, and they, whatever. But yeah, this is a good way to go. So you do these at the bottom every 30 inches, but there isn't a code for the top.
No,
No.
So now you've got this dead end that we're talking about. So put these at the top.
Yeah.
And,
you'll never see them.
No, you don't see them at all. So that's an important part of the ventilation game. You don't put a hole in the house without addressing it for bugs. Well, that's cool. You have one. That was quick too. I didn't get the ham and cheese, but we'll settle for this.
I think those two changes alone, right? Let's get the bottom courses out of the dirt, and let's think about where that moisture drive is going and how to effectively accommodate for it. We're really causing ourselves a lot of headache with continuing the way. And I know how I got there. We had a good system, products changed, and then the system was no longer good.
Right.
And so,
And trade partners don't really.
they're there to install it. They're there not to think about the system.
Right. It's up to the builders to coach.
It is.
And if the trade partners aren't coached, I mean, the first time I did this little brick ledge thing out here a couple of years back, the brick guy came in, what is this? I haven't seen one of those in town ever. I'm like, it's a brick ledge. He goes, well, when I was in Colorado, we did them. So you know what they are. You know they're right, but over here you don't. I go, yeah, we're going to do brick ledge.
It's and I think it's a sharp look. It's a durable look. I think everybody should be doing an above ground brick ledge. I really do.
I agree. I mean, I've seen too many issues just in the 10 or 12 years I've been around, gone out and looked at problems. People go, well, it's flooding in my master bedroom when we get it.
I looked at
Here's another interesting topic about the brick ledge that nobody thinks about. We've got our footing, typical Amarillo Foundation guideline footing. Brick ledge goes on top of it. Brick gets laid. All the mortar starts falling behind the brick.
Yep.
Then you've got a mortar connection from brick to bottom stud and to the bottom plate and maybe even several inches of the studs. So then when you go and do a remodel and tear a wall down, which we've done, both of us have done a lot of, and you've seen a lot of them.
Yep.
There's no bottom plate even left because moisture is transversed straight into the wood. You're just giving it a direct path at that point. So that's another reason that.
Yeah, I'm
ledge is a good idea.
all about Mortar Net. I think Mortar Net's a great product, even though they don't sponsor this. But I've just seen the difference in how that mortar falls on that mortar net versus, let's just put the waterproof paper in there and gravel it.
Pea gravel.
Yeah, and it just
Yeah, cladding is super important.
It is.
It's almost, and we were talking at the beginning of the podcast about we disagreed it was architecturally with UV protection, but it actually done wrong. It's your worst enemy.
It is.
It actually, is a bad thing. I mean, if you didn't do it at all, and you'd be better off than if you did it wrong.
I would agree with that.
Because wrong takes you way over the other side of bummer.
I agree with that. I've seen houses, homeowners doing their own remodels or whatever it is, patching the wall where zip sheathing's been out there for 7 or 8 years. And yeah, it's faded, but it's still doing its job.
It's still sitting there in the sun.
You take this assembly and 7 or 8 years
later
later,
anymore.
And you don't just have a faded green board. You've got a completely rotten bottom wall system. That nobody knows about. It's affecting the homeowner's health. It's affecting the structure. But until somebody actually dives into the remodel and it's like, we've got to do some replacement now.
Well, I tell my kids out at Amarillo College, you want to be a remodeler? Just give it another 5 more years and you'll have more work and you can check and stick at. And it's just
falling down around us and we don't even know.
Yeah.
It looks good from the outside.
Yep.
So what's the next clad?
Well, so the rain screen on the brick was the 1-inch gap and the waterproof layer, right? It's not an additional layer of rain screen, but all these other ones, we want to talk about the rain screen, right? What is a rain screen? What's it doing? And where do we put it? And that's going to go for
EFIS.
That's going to go
siding,
for EFIS, for stucco. That's going to go for any kind of siding.
Any kind of siding.
Right? Whether it's metal or wood or masonry siding, whatever.
It's kind of giving you the same concept we just talked about. It's an air layer of sorts.
Yep.
And for that same moisture. So it's really the same exact thing between what we just said with the building and the brick. But you can't really have siding floating like you can brick.
Correct.
Right.
And so you
got to get it attached to the wall.
You have to attach it to the wall,
Yeah.
but you still want the space.
Yeah.
So we've come up with this idea of rain screen.
So what's the difference between the rain screen and a just regular house wrap?
So there are drainable house wraps. They're like a dimple mat, and those do provide a drainage path.
They do, but have you ever really, do you believe it?
Well, I don't think that they meet code for a true rain screen. I think it's 3/8 of an inch for a rain screen is normal.
Right. So these are little bumps that get.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting the product, and I use the product with the bumps if I'm not doing a full rain screen. So don't get me wrong. People that are building those products, I think they're wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're taking it and putting this, it's a paper with little black bumps in it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them the companies make a paper that's wrinkled. That they figure once you put it up there, the wrinkles will make this gap. But logistically thinking, if you took a piece of wood siding and slammed up against this paper and nailed it, how much gap do you have?
The idea of it is it's breaking the surface tension, right? So you put wood up against wood and they're both smooth surfaces. Water will get back there. It's not a question of if, it's when.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what cladding is designed. Cladding is not designed to keep all bulk water out. It's designed to help water shed, but your water control layer is to keep all water out. Right. Well, when you sandwich those two together and water does get back there, it doesn't have a place to go. And that surface tension will actually drive the water into the house, especially if your water or air control layer at this point is not 100%. So let's say, for example, you have zip sheathing and it's your water control layer and it's your air barrier. It's doing a good job of keeping bulk water out on its own, but it may be really leaky as far as the air goes. Maybe the tape wasn't sealed really well, or you missed a piece of tape, or there's a nail hole
There's holes.
that's not filled. When you increase that surface tension with that siding layer and water gets back there, it will now go through that nail hole where it once wouldn't before because the tension has increased.
So what's the difference between, I mean, I understand what you're saying, between standard house wrap and the dimpled house wrap. So do you see a major difference between those two?
I think there's some, a standard house wrap, you can still get that surface tension.
I was going to say, yeah, you can.
It's like, when you stick 2 wet pieces of glass together, they're hard to pull apart because of that surface tension.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing the same thing in that normal house wrap doesn't have enough texture variation to stop that.
Well, that's where the bumps come in.
That's where the bumps and the wrinkles come in.
Okay.
And so it does the job of stopping that surface tension, but it's not really allowing a true drainage and air drying.
No, drain plane.
Yeah. So that's where, and there's a lot of different types of rain screens, but that's where the rain screens come into
spacers.
effect. Yeah, it's just allowing for a gap behind
Right.
it. Some of them look like Brillo pads. Some of them could be strapping. You
Yeah,
know?
some are plastic and vinyl now. But
Yeah.
back
Yep.
when we originally started developing this, it was just half-inch pressure treated plywood
Sure.
ripped down to I think we went 2.5 or something on them, and then you would paper your house, nail those on at centers
Mhm.
for your siding, and do some bug guards and assorted little things here and there, and then the siding would go on, creating that air gap. I don't know that we ever vented the top.
Well,
I think it's a dead end.
it probably was
Yeah.
a dead end. But here's the thing: is cladding is probably better left uncaulked, right? And then it's not an air barrier, right? So when you've got a siding on there, you don't caulk the bottom edges, you're allowing moisture and air to get back out of the top still. It's not a sealed air control layer.
Well, and I think if you read the installation
So it's
directions,
leaking, the whole thing's leaking air.
Right.
It's supposed to
Yeah,
leak
right.
it's
air.
supposed to leak.
Whole thing's
And if
leaking
you
air.
read the installation directions on some of the cement products, some of the wood products,
Mhm.
they want this vertical seam to be caulked, but not the horizontal on each
And
board.
that's for the
No.
expansion and contraction,
Contraction.
to keep the
And they don't want the verticals anymore. They just flash behind them. They
That's
got
true.
rid of that because that caused all kinds of problems. The movement, the caulking cracked.
Well, maybe that's why my house is gapped about that wide.
Yeah. And then people would go through and touch up the paint, these stripes on the house. So they got rid of that. Now we just take a piece of a step flashing shingle,
Yeah.
metal, put it behind there, put the two pieces of siding, gap them for expansion, and no caulking. The last couple I've done, there's not any caulking on those houses,
And it's
corner boards or anything.
the ideal way to go.
Because it's just
I think
I've always thought that caulking, if you're depending on caulking
Mhm.
for anything but cosmetics, it's game over. You can't depend on it because it's too big of a maintenance problem.
Well, I think people looked at siding as the water control layer, and so
Yeah.
they thought it needed to be caulked and painted and
Yeah,
sealed.
for sure. Caulk, 2-3
And if
cases of
you-
caulking, just caulk. And there was guys that did nothing but caulking.
Uh-huh.
And they were good at it. And it was just, it
And
was
if you
icky, it
look
was a
at
mess.
if you look at vinyl siding and steel siding, how it actually goes and snaps together, to me, they're actually telling you that it's part of that
Right.
layer.
And then if it's
And
in
it shouldn't
if
be.
it's in the J channel on the
It's in the
outside,
J channel,
there's a
yep.
ton of air.
Yep.
There's a ton of gap in the J,
Mm-hmm.
all around the windows. I mean, it's just one big giant leak hole. You can hear it leaking.
Yeah, and then
You can hear the ocean
most of
in
it's ventilated on the vinyl and steel,
Yeah.
and then they've got a sandwich layer of foam that's directly up against the wall sheeting, and it's not taped or sealed. So you've got all these cracks where the foam goes,
Oh.
water gets in there, and then it's trapped with surface tension between the foam and the wall.
Now
And
you
then
get-
if you look at
If the wall wasn't done prepped properly, they're really in a bad way.
yeah, you do any demo on a vinyl or steel siding, and sure, it looks good the first time it gets put up. I'm not a big fan of it, but it does have an appeal to the exterior look of it.
Mhm.
But then you remove that, and all of a sudden your wall looks like it's aged another 70 years after 5 years because of the assembly of it. It's not being done the way it should be done. But yeah, that's the way to think about it. Don't think of the cladding as the water control layer. And so when we allow it to breathe up top, you really don't need that ventilation port because it's a board against the board. It's not airtight. It's got path for water or for air and vapor to drive out. Now,
We should take that. Are you done with the siding?
I think I was going to go into EFIS.
I was just going to say we probably should talk about how EFIS has its issues and should be rain screened.
EFIS should be rain screened and ventilated, and it's neither.
Neither.
It's a foam.
So what we're saying, EFIS, it's the stucco look, synthetic
Mhm.
stucco.
Synthetic.
stucco.
And so they take a 2-inch chunk of foam, which does give you a little R value, which is
Yeah.
cool. And
3.8 per
Yeah.
inch is what
right.
it is, right on the package.
right from the beginning, that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they're dropping it right onto the sheeting, and then they're putting there's no ventilation, no rain screen, and then they put their coating on, which I think is porous.
It's waterproof. It's a synthetic waterproof layer,
Right.
but it is like smearing caulk all over the side of your sheathing and say it's never going to leak again.
Right. Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to get a hole. in
houses
it.
move.
Something's going to happen. You're going to get a crack in the seam. You're going to get a hole from hail.
Right. The hole from hell.
You're
That's funny.
That's funny.
Watch your mouth.
It
Yeah.
still has joints in it that have
Yeah.
to be sealed, and they crack over time.
Oh, for sure.
And so now you've got this impermeable layer with holes in it holding foam directly against the house.
Yeah.
And if that is not a recipe for disaster, I
Oh,
don't
for sure.
know what
That's
else could
total
be.
game
Wrap
over.
your house in a sponge.
I mean, it's like wrapping your house in a sponge and a Ziploc bag and putting some holes in the Ziploc
Yep.
bag. That's exactly what it's like.
Mhm.
And so we have no way. It's not always about keeping the water out. It's about letting the water out, right?
Right.
At some point in time, the water's going to get in and we want to make sure it has access back out. Well, when we put that EFIS coating top to bottom and seal everything in false hope that it's never going to see water, that's not an applicable
It's not a real
approach.
stucco house. It's not masonry stucco.
And I'll tell you, the J channel on the bottom
Mhm.
has been in the code book that I'm aware of since 2012 anyway.
Mhm.
Do we necessarily look for it? Should be.
Yeah, that's so the ideal approach for that would be let's see that we've got a wall, right? Bottom of it, J channel, your foam and your rain screen sit into that channel, and it's got drain ports on the bottom. You EFIS coat the front of it.
Yep.
And then at the top, we have a ventilation path for it as well. Now, there's different ways of flashing that and doing ventilation through the top, but now it is a detached layer from the house with a gap behind it that allows for water drainage and air path.
And
that would live a long time.
And guess what? If it hails, you're not in risk of, and you do get a hole in it, it's a cosmetic fix. It is
Right.
not, I'm getting water on the inside of my house now.
Right.
I'm rotting and molding my wall.
So how are you venting the top?
Well, there's different ways of doing it, and it depends on the house assembly by itself, right? So if we have a parapet wall, you could have a wall cap, and that wall cap could be your ventilation port for your EFIS, right? You stop your EFIS short, you put basically the same similar J channel on the top,
Yeah,
and
it's just
upside down.
yeah, I've seen that,
And
but
then
not
your,
here.
Then your wall cap covers it, and it's got flashing, so no water can get in it, but air can get back out of it.
So on a non-parapet wall, a conventional build soffit,
Yeah,
and like a brick pocket, but you'd have a EFIS pocket.
an EFIS pocket.
How do you vent the top of that?
It'd be similar, right? So you could
So
still
you still do the J,
you could still do it.
but the J is venting in the dead end up to the soffit.
Well,
How do you vent it?
if your soffit's closed, then you've got call it a brick pocket. You still have a direct airflow path. Air's not picky where it goes, and then warm air travels up, but air itself is not controlled. So as long as you have that ventilation path, whether it's got to go a little bit up and back down, it still has a true ventilation path. And you throw convection in on top of that, the warm air will push its way out.
So you're doing the J at the top
And the bottom.
and the bottom. I understand because it's open to air.
Mm-hmm.
But so are you keeping that off the soffit a quarter inch or no? You can't do that.
You can keep it off the soffit some.
Yeah, because I mean then you got a bug problem.
Well,
I'm just thinking that
With-
I'm just
where's the
trying
bug problem at? Because you're fully enclosed behind that. You've got a J channel covering. You've got your soffit enclosed. So your J channel is right below your soffit, and then you've got your 1x2 strapping, your brick ledge, right? So there's an air path,
Oh,
but
I
there's
see.
not a bug path.
Yeah, I don't know that they do the pocket on EFIS.
No, there's no. I've not ever seen anybody
I
else.
never
do
seen
it.
them do the pocket on
And
EFIS.
here lately, I'm seeing a lot more EFIS being done for soffits and fascia.
Mhm.
And I am not 100% crazy about it,
Right.
but because it comes back down, is they're going to seal that fascia right to the roof.
Mhm.
Now you have no path
Mhm.
for anything to go.
I've seen a lot of that EFIS material being sprayed like right on a wood material.
Yeah.
With no foam behind it.
Wow, I've never seen that.
I've seen a board and batten done that way. Board and batten siding, and then they just spray the EFIS synthetic coating right on top of it.
Oh, just to give it that look.
Just to give it that
I've
look.
never seen that. Huh.
But I mean, in that whole approach, you don't have a drainage path. You don't have an air path. You don't have room for a vapor drive. Like you are building an assembly that is destined to fail in a short amount of time at that. So it doesn't take much more, right? The rain screens aren't expensive.
No.
They go on really quickly and they're not meticulous. It's like You don't have to have your joints perfectly lined up. As long as you don't have massive overlapping and it's not bumping something out, you got some rain screen strips up there, whatever it is.
Right.
Foam goes to it.
I
The
guess
only thing you're adding is a rain screen that's inexpensive and J channels that's inexpensive, and you've just increased the life of the home by countless decades.
something else to consider if you are doing rain screen is you have to trim out your windows. You need that window pushed out the thickness of your sleeper.
You do.
Yeah, if you put a sleeper in, yeah.
Well, your sleeper is your rain screen. So your spacer, wherever you're using for a spacer, your 1/2 inch or 3/8, whatever. Your window has
I see what you're.
your window
Yeah, I
has to
see
come
what
out
you're
that
saying.
same amount. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a window recessed into your cladding.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
Right. And
Big
I
deal.
mean, some of those windows are recessed into the cladding. It's a look, it's a style that's, it's an architectural style. Some of them are, installed on the inside of the framing, like any windows is what I've always referred to them as. It's not a flanged window.
Mm-mm.
It's a direct set on the inside of the framing.
Maybe on a stucco issue, it wouldn't be an issue at all, but on a sided house, that you would want that window to sit in this normal proud spot for your siding to go into the window, the lap.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do a sided house and you're going to do a rain screen house,
You want to buck the window.
you want to buck out the windows the same thickness as the sleeper.
Yep, that's exactly right. So I think that's the answer to EFIS. That's the problems with EFIS. We've kind of gone over EFIS. Stucco's a little bit different.
Masonry stucco.
True masonry stucco is a little bit different. It can have a rain screen. They make very good products that act as a rain screen and also as a scratch coat holder, I guess is the best way to explain it. But the good thing about stucco is it is a impervious material, so it is penetrable, water and air both. It can hold water. It can let water out. It's not airtight, so it's had that going for it. And with the assembly that is practical of it, right? It's the metal lath, and then scratch coat, brown coat, and top coat. It's very similar to brick. The only difference is it is right up against the house. So you still want to put that rain screen in there.
So if they're doing a rain screen, they're spacing out the wire, and that's their first item is the wire,
the
chicken wire.
Well, on some of those, if I was to do a true stucco, masonry stucco on a house, I would use a product that is a rain screen, and it takes the place of the wire or the mesh. It's got the rain screen on the inside. On the outside, it is made to apply your scratch coat directly to it.
Seen it.
So it doesn't allow the scratch coat to go through and make a big muddy mess.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
But so you're spacing that scratch coat out between the rain screen.
Correct.
12 inches.
Well, no, that rain screen's maybe, any other like Slicker Max or something like that. It's 3/8 Brillo pad on one side, and then it's got
but as far as the spacing goes, they're minimum of 12 inches apart, right? I mean, if your verticals.
No, so this would be like a rain screen that is applied to the whole house like a house wrap. So it's a house wrap type rain screen. It goes over the whole house. One side's a Brillo pad, the other side's like a felt pad. Yeah, and that's what that scratch coat would go to. So
I see. It can't penetrate.
It can't penetrate.
It can't leak through.
Correct. That's allowing drainage and air. Now you still need to think about your stucco having drainage path at the bottom, whether you're using a perforated J channel or whatever that is, and a drainage path at the top. Now, something else that we didn't talk about is that J channel at the top is only for a non-vented roof assembly. If you're doing a vented roof system, you can vent that straight into the soffit.
Right.
And out the roof.
Out the roof, yeah.
And that's traditional in a lot of places. We just happen to have a whole lot of non-vented roofs here in the Texas Panhandle.
Yeah.
So we got to think about some things a little bit differently before we drive moisture up into it. But that's our brick, that's our cladding, that's our EFIS, and that's our stucco. And that's what's wrong with all of them. And an example of how to fix them. There's multiple ways to go about all those.
Sure.
What else we got to add?
Building
We
envelope.
want to. I mean, we talked about vinyl and and steel siding.
Sure.
You've got Smart or the LP, and then you've got Hardy.
Mhm.
Pros and cons on between those.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we really just had talked about the assemblies of all these. We didn't talk about the actual products and the looks of them.
There's definitely pros and cons from a concrete product like a Hardy to an LP Smart side, which is a wood composite product. So there's
And LP's been working on their smart siding.
Mhm.
yeah.
They've been trying to make it a little bit more hail resistant.
It's pretty tough, and it's water resistant. I mean, they've got samples of it. They're thrown into a bucket of water for 2 weeks and pull them back out, and they're in good shape.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's a lot of it is preference and a lot of it's territorial
sales.
sales.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean,
it's regional.
You can go to a zone and you just knew that they had a great salesman like yourself out there pushing their products, and they bought steak dinners for people. And next thing you know, the lumber yards are pushing that particular product. So I think it's sales driven. LP's come a long way. They had their class action suit back in the 90s, and that wasn't fun for them, but they stood up and fixed it. And so there's pros and cons to both, but I wouldn't throw either one of them out.
And there's other products like them. And, there's synthetic PVC style material.
There's a lot of that now.
Looks like wood.
Oh my gosh, they make some beautiful pre-pigmented colors.
Yep.
Board and batten kind of stuff. So there's a lot of composite sidings that are awesome. But you would still want to put them on around a rain screen.
Well, Joel, you and I got samples from
Wood something.
from that English.
Yeah, that was
It's an
cool
English made product.
Yeah.
So this is basically like a Trex.
stuff. It's a
Oh,
composite.
that's it right there.
No, this isn't what we saw.
This isn't
plastic.
what. Oh,
No.
okay.
That was particular manufacturer's millboard.
Oh, millboard.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
this is it. This is what you and I got samples.
Yeah,
of.
it is. It is. Joel's the one that told me about it.
Yeah.
It's like a Trex. It's very similar to it. It's a composite.
And this is going to be bulletproof. This is going to be cool.
It's super cool.
Yeah. And look, it's a board and batten all formed into it. And then you still want to put it on a rain screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the rain screen, it nails on the same way.
I think one of the things that I liked about it is the nails kind of just they disappear and go away.
Somehow they go inside this first layer and then they're gone.
You don't see a nail head.
Yeah. There's
But they have nickel gap. They have open face siding. They have board and batten.
Mm-hmm.
they have some really cool beams.
They do.
They made some really cool beams.
It's a super good product. Now, due to the nature of the manufacturing of it, it is one of the more expensive ones.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's it's what buy once, cry once. It's that approach.
Right.
And sorry about that. The other options are,
I think it's the pizza guy.
The other approaches are the real wood. Real wood, again, you've got endless opportunities with hardwoods and cedars.
And that's really, I've come to find it's pretty territorial again.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Real cedar, it wouldn't live out here. The heat, I've just seen what the wood has done. Something like this in this territory with the hail and the heat.
We used to have a lot of cedar roofs.
We did.
Everybody had cedar roofs. That was a thing.
The other thing is we do get wildfires here, and I think that's a liability. Whereas some of this stuff's got a fire rating on it.
Yeah.
And so putting wood on the outside of the house, I think that's why we're predominantly masonry here.
Yeah.
Grass fires and wildfires that go really quickly.
Well, we sure got a lot more brick masons than we do stucco guys. That's for sure.
Or
siding guys. Yeah.
I spec'd out a house for Hardy this last year, and in different territories. Like I was saying, you could just go to the lumber yard and pick up an extra 10 pieces, or they have units and units of it sitting in the yard. And in this territory, they don't have it. They don't know anything about it, and you have to order it and make sure you get your count right. Because the truck's only coming once. Yeah. And so the last couple I did, I only ended up with maybe 8 boards left over. I mean, we really had to put our thinking cap on, where normally we just come within 10%, and then have lumberyard bring out the last 42 boards or
Yep.
something. But no, it's territorial. It makes it
or
interesting.
take back what you didn't
Didn't
use.
take back what you didn't
or
use.
tell them to come back and take it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
the same with a product like this. You're not going to go find. And
No.
if you're short one piece, you're
That's
really
right.
you're short 1,000.
Yep.
You know, so you have to kind of consider where you're building and what your territory has readily available. You know, I mean that's a
I
somewhat
agree.
of a choice. It's a weird choice to have to make, but when in Rome, you
So
know.
what about metal and vinyl? But metal and vinyl siding. What's the thoughts there?
I think vinyl siding will always have a place because it's economical, apartment grade kind of things. You know, it isn't that hard to fix.
It's true.
You
and
can
it's a
always buy
great
it.
starter home product.
Yeah,
I mean,
you-
it makes starter home look
You
good.
can always buy it.
Yeah.
No matter what town you're in, you can always find it. Aluminum siding is long gone. Thank you very much. You know, I'm glad that's gone because it just dented and made a mess.
And faded.
Yeah.
Faded.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So
And then whole paint.
I don't have a problem with vinyl siding in the right application.
Yeah.
You know, metal siding. You're talking about like barn door. You're talking about like
Well,
building
I
metal
was talking
siding.
about like aluminum, but yeah,
Oh.
that's another application would be.
We
like-
saw that. We see a lot of that.
We do see a lot of.
I mean, what we
So-
have is a guys. I'd never heard of the term before I moved here, but barn dominiums.
Barndominiums. Yeah.
And basically, you're talking about a pole barn, you know, or metal barn, and they just put a building inside of it. You know, kind of get in there and start framing your walls and do your thing. That's a whole nother thing. We should probably maybe don't want to address it here today, but that's a whole nother animal that I know Robert's specking out stuff to build himself one of those. And so how do you do your rain planes? How do you do your spacings, and what do you do with that? Because there's a lot of those being built, and I think they're gonna stay.
Yeah, I think so. And
Yeah,
I mean,
on the
not
internet,
that's on the commercial side too. I think 75% of all of our commercial buildings they're metal.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
They're all over the place.
They're everywhere. I mean, little standalones,
Mhm.
furniture stores, they're all metal.
They are.
And so how are they built? I mean, and a lot of guys have their shops, you know, and then they're just spray foam and go home. And that's it. So
Yeah,
And
that's
we-
enough.
that's
That's
a
enough
whole
for
other
a whole
subject.
big topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buildings.
That's
Right.
right.
right. I mean, because even no matter where you are, people build shop buildings or man caves.
Uh-huh.
You know, and they want a section of it for their man cave, and they want to have their show cars and whatnot. They're building those buildings all the time. There's a guy down here that's building those. He's building a couple hundred of them now out there in the next town over. We were talking to Sean about that. You know, where they're doing all that construction.
And Dumas?
No, just
Bushland?
no. We were just talking to Sean 2 days ago, and he showed you that picture of that 5 million square foot development they're doing for A&I.
Oh. Yeah, those are.
And so there's a guy out there. There's a lot of people coming to town as a complete side note, and they need housing. And this guy's building 100 of those types of buildings that would be a place to either park your RV or to set up camp or to have a building inside of a building. And he's building 100 of them right now in Claude. In Claude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And so how are those being built?
Yeah.
You know, I have a feeling I know how they're being built.
Yeah, I do too.
So anyways, we should talk about that. Put that as a
But we
subject.
got to finish our house first that we've been working on.
Yeah,
for the
we've been
last
working on this
year.
house too long.
Well, this is cladding for the house.
It is
I mean,
cladding.
here's another word. I mean, we're getting short on time probably.
Yeah, we're getting short.
So he talks about cladding, and we've kind of described what cladding is as a skin of some sort. And this isn't quite within that subject of building envelope that we're talking about, but windows are cladded. You know, so I mean, I'm not really going to dive into that whole thing, but that word cladding comes around. So if people just want to get used to that word cladding, it isn't specific to the outside of the building.
Correct.
You can get a window that has an aluminum cladding, means it's a cover. It's an
Yeah.
architectural cover,
True.
you know, and so that's, I just throw it in as an extra clad word because cladding is the word, isn't cladding our word?
Cladding is the word.
So I wanted to
Word
throw
of
in
the
all I
day.
know about cladding.
The only other wall cladding assembly that we didn't talk about that I thought of is veneer stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Veneer stone, which
I
has
think we call it lick and stick.
lick and stick. Well, it's not like some of the other stone products that nail on or
Right.
peel and stick actually on. It is
Culture
Mortared
stone.
on.
it's a culture stone.
Culture stone and
Mhm.
mortars on.
It does usually with like a metal lath and then mortar scratch coat and
Yep.
then it's put on. And we need to think about that the same way as we do like a masonry stucco. We can use the same type of rain screen between it.
Yeah.
And you're disconnecting that.
Well, now wait a minute. I live somewhere where it doesn't rain very often, so who cares? Oh, I guess that's changed this year, didn't it?
I almost said at the beginning of this that rain screen. I always kind of thought this was the wrong name. The word rain. The word rain it definitely grabs your head
Right.
completely somewhere else where it shouldn't go. It's
Right.
not.
That's why I said what I said.
I mean, it's not a waterfall back there. It's not a water feature.
Right.
So the word rain screen, it shouldn't be. I argued that years ago. I argued that years ago. I said, why are we calling it this?
I think we need to call it venting screen.
Well, another thing about it is where it doesn't rain, guess what you have to do? Run a sprinkler system. And that sprinkler system can cause a whole lot more damage than rain can. It's every morning, every night, whatever. And then you're getting vapor drive right after that because the sun's coming out. It unlike rain, can shoot upwards.
Yep.
Right? It's coming from the ground, not from the sky.
Right.
So you're going against all of your lap patterns. It can be more dangerous than rain for sure. Anyways, that's our beef with.
That's our beef with cladding. I mean, it's
a lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot of bad issues that I think the test of time will come and we'll see what's happening with some of this stuff. But if you're listening to this podcast, take note. Maybe hop on the train to change and start thinking about the system as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. Not a product that's new and changing the old way of doing things, but the system as whole so that we are properly addressing all of our control layers and making a durable, healthy, long-lasting building.
Well, and that's one of the things I ask my students on a regular basis as we move through our 2-year program at Amarillo College is what sub is more important than another? I get all kinds of answers. And I said, wait a minute, what is a house? Nobody thinks about a house being a system. And that's what we're sitting here talking about is part of the system. So sorry, MEPs, we can actually do without you. We're not as comfortable without you as we are with you. But without some kind of shelter, we could still build in the dirt. I mean, if we wanted to do that without concrete. But the whole point is as a society, we've grown, we've done, and we've come to the point of we want to live comfortable. And somebody says, well,
and healthy.
We building a house too tight? I don't think we're building them tight enough.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then something else to consider is this is your investment.
Yes.
And if this is your first time buyer, you don't really understand that. If you've been down the road where you had to sell your house and you massively failed your building inspection, your bank inspection, or your home inspection, and they start tearing things apart and you just have no idea how this could have possibly happened, think about that on your next new build. Protect your investment. It doesn't cost hardly anything to do it right. And you can sleep at night knowing that when the time comes in 10 years, when you're moving to the next house for the next reason, that you're going to just skate through that inspection. No questions asked. And you're going to have pictures and documentation of how you built that house. And the next educated buyer that's coming through to buy your house, they're going to buy your house versus the next door neighbor's house, because you're going to show them how it was built and what we did and what we did right and why. And that's a huge thing people just don't even think about.
Yeah, it's an upfront, unappreciated asset that pays off in the long run.
Can't polish it; it's not shiny, and you can't cook on it. And unfortunately, it gets to the bottom of the barrel.
Yep,
it does. It's the last thing that.
But it's the first thing you need to think about.
It's the last thing people pay attention to, and the first thing they should actually be thinking about.
But we sure going to spend $90,000 on that brand new pickup truck, and it loses $10,000 right off the lot.
That's true. But that's why we got this podcast, right? So the 7 listeners know how to build a house when we get done. But anyways, I think that's it for.
Yeah.
Want to talk about some TPBA stuff coming up?
Have at it.
Okay. Well, actually, I don't know when the next luncheon and stuff is. I was just going to bring up the TPBA Wing Wars is coming up September 13th in the parking lot at Ferguson. I don't know exactly how many teams we've got, but it should be a pretty good time. Open to the public too. So
Yes.
They
have a Facebook page. I believe there's links to buy tickets on already. They're for sale. The next luncheon is September 11th.
Okay.
I don't know who the speaker is going to be yet, but it's always a good time. What else do we have going?
What was I gonna? Do you know how much the teams are to get?
I don't. It's
on the website.
It is on the website.
.org.
I think. I mean, the teams don't they get the free wings, or how does that work?
The teams pay for their entry as a team, and then yes, the wings are supplied to them.
As many wings as they want.
It's a good amount.
There's a ton of them.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, I think
literally.
So. Right, and so this event, as far as I know, was done by the schools before. The Montessori school sponsored this or something,
think so.
Right? And it was a great event that with COVID, it killed the event.
It is.
So this is being brought back by
and the other thing
the
is
Builders Association.
A portion of the proceeds are going to benefit Habitat for Humanity,
which is a great program.
It is. It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not just raising. We're not just trying to raise association money for operable money. It's actually going to a good cause.
And I know that we're an international podcast, so if you guys can hop a plane, come to Ferguson's parking lot. We'll give you, if you can prove that you actually flew here, we're giving you free wings.
Buy your ticket.
We'll buy your ticket.
We'll buy your ticket. So come on down for some wings.
That's right.
Anything else important?
Not that I can think of.
Nothing else.
Okay, well, thanks for the wing hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
We want to thank our sponsor this year. It's Huber Engineered Woods. They were gracious enough to give us some money to operate so that we could have the equipment and the software that we needed to operate with this. And it's a product that we really believe in.
Thank you.
Appreciate.
You bet.
Yeah.
So, is that it?
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. All right. We'll see you next time.
See y'all next time
on the TPPA Builder Talk podcast.